I'm going to be engaging with the work of Emily Dickinson, and let's see, I have some notes here. Outside of the general themes of our poetry, which I think hopefully will be kind of obvious, the overlap with that, I also feel like rhythmically is where Emily Dickinson has influenced me a lot. And to be honest, before I got asked to do this, I had read a good bit of Emily Dickinson here and there, but I didn't really start getting really into it until this event. So it's been a recent thing that I've really delved in and I tried to read all the poems in the collected works, but but in 2 months I didn't want to go that fast. So I only read some, but I feel like a lot though. I feel like the more I read her, the more I realized how deeply she influenced a lot of people that I read. So when I was influenced by Emily Dickinson through Alice Notley, Gertrude Stein, Joseph Lease, Lizzie Scalapino, Robert Duncan, all these people had been influenced by her rhythm, so they kind of had seeped through to me. So yeah, I guess the only other thing I wanted to say is that it's all mixed up. There's Emily Dickinson's poems, which I kind of feel like are one poem because all these themes keep coming up over and over and over again, in a sense. And then there's this sections of a long poem I'm working on called The Echoes, which are mixed in with that as well. So it goes back and forth. And the yellow is Emily Dickinson, and the green is Zack Haber, me. Not revelation 'tis that waits, but our unfurnished eyes. May fishers of fish become fishers of folk. May fishers of folk become fishers of light. Who court obtain within himself sees every man a king, and poverty of monarchy is an interior thing. No man depose whom fate ordain, and who can add a crown to him who doth continual conspire against his own? What bureaucracy never discloses is all masks fall, there is no state outside of time, and love is choking on its need to reconstruct beyond placing. Out of sight, what of that? See the bird reach it, curve by curve, sweep by sweep, round the steep air. Danger, what is that to her? Better 'tis to fail there than debate here. Blue is blue, the world through. Amber, amber, dew. Seek friend and see. Heaven is shy of earth, that's all. Bashful heaven, thy lover's small, hide too from thee. Shooting, light off, sun off, lake off, sky, and eyes squirting, light, fire, eyelids, face full of tongue, cymbals falling to the ground from a tall building and crashing, dazzling darkness flying like a paradox, in the temple in my hand, and in the temple in my heart, and in the temple in my temple, in how the darkness drank up the light, and the light trembled and tumbled, and it didn't understand it. 4 trees upon a solitary acre, without design or order or apparent action maintain. The sun upon a morning meets them. The wind no nearer neighbor have they but God. The acre leaves them place, they him attention of passer-by, of shadow or of squirrel, haply or boy. What deed is theirs unto the general nature? What plan they severely retard or further unknown? Because the cause of every perceptible thing is not itself a perceptible thing, dazzling darkness after death, before birth, in the in-between, in the snow, in a world of pure imagination, still cutting off the head of the doll, and the inverse of school, greeting everyone goodbye, not the so-called reconstruction, and not wanting anything over again, give it away. You constituted time, I deemed eternity, a revelation of yourself, 'twas therefore deity. The absolute removed the relative away, that I unto himself adjust my slow idolatry. Buried in names and published in brains, published in brains and buried in names, buried in names and published in brains, torn together, chasing voice, revolt. God is in the shadows, so you cannot see God's face. Daylight is in darkness, so the blackness of the Lord is great, that the dazzling blue sky depends on the black space behind it to keep it blue, that the sky doesn't spread over everything, but black space might. By my window have I for scenery just a sea with a stem. If the bird and the farmer deem it a pine, the opinion will serve for them. It has no port nor a line, but the jays that split their route to the sky, or a squirrel whose giddy peninsula may be easier reached this way. For inlands the earth is the underside, and the upper side is the sun, and its commerce, if commerce it have, of spice I infer from the odors born, of its voice to affirm when the wind is within. Can the dawn define the divine? The definition of melody is, the definition is none. It suggests to our faith, they suggest to our sight. When the latter is put away, I shall meet with conviction I somewhere met that immortality was the pine at my window, a fellow of the royal infinity. Apprehensions are God's introductions to be haloed accordingly. Black drinks white, brilliant black in the sky, glimmering, squirting black, silence loud through between. The law is incomplete. Unity not as an object, not tender ruptures, not writing self out of body through the walls of thought. Death's prerequisite suffers a kiss, but not anyone singing the country's wild requiem. Cross the stars of wrong will reach for the song of kindred folk in the very last chamber of heart, dark, colorful there, where the blood presses states, vena cava, and I'm choking on it. For your death, lives were conceived. One crucifixion is recorded only. How many be is not affirmed of mathematics or history. One Calvary exhibited to stranger as many be, as persons or peninsulas. Gethsemane is but a province in the being center. Judea for journey or crusades achieving too near. Our Lord indeed made compound witness, and yet there's nearer crucifixion than that. Because with nails you don't need balance, just like Jesus, spill over my heart as a love without gravity. Say it, how my making fists tell me nothing, evil never unravels redacted heart. Read sweet how others strove till we are stouter, what they renounced till we are less afraid. How many times they bore the faithful witness till we are helped as if a kingdom cared. Read then of faith that shone above the faggot clear strains of him the river could not drown. Brave names of men and celestial women passed out of record into renown. Death, flesh, soul, breath, goalless revolt, but not pointless. These yet unmasked, that's our task. Though the dewdrops within, the skin sheds slowly your body. Though sound sticks and nephesh and karma and marrow. So I swear the poem made you take this badge off of me. That such have died enables us, the tranquiler, to die. That such have lived, certificate of immortality. Wild nights, were I with thee, wild nights should be our luxury. Futile the winds to a heart in port, done with the compass, done with the chart. Rowing in Eden, the sea, but might I more tonight in thee? No matter now sweet, but when I'm Earl, won't you wish you'd spoken to that dull girl? Trivial a word, just trivial a smile, but won't you wish you'd spared one when I'm Earl? I shan't need it then, crests will do, eagles on my buckles, on my belt too, ermine my familiar gown. Say sweet then, won't you wish you'd smile just me upon? I am my mother, revival I ask for, as if sex were basketball, fun though my team always loses, the endless pun. Sex is not poetry, heavy in air, uncontrollable birth, although both can be union or yoga, true to jubilee, but we aren't the limit. The righteous undecidedness, the righteous undecidedness, the righteous undecidedness is impetus for gentleness and tenderness, that holiness is the norm, not the exception, buried in flowers, in bones, in metal, even governmental forms that people cry out. Human nature, pulled by the force of their names, it's a shame, but what is without its coat of paint, it's paint. The knot, the knot comes undone when you try pulling it harder together, a debt not beyond beauty, and the stars are irredeemably back from zero. Don't plan for the Sabbath, you'll eat what the Jubilee yields, an economics of rivers, empty essence of dependent arisings, survivings in the glitter black river, bleed, and ocean sustains me. Fairer through fading as the day, into the darkness dips away, half her complexion of the sun, hindering, haunting, perishing, rallies her glow like a dying friend, teasing with glittering amend, only to aggravate the dark through an expiring perfect look. The definition of beauty is that definition is none of heaven easing analysis, since heaven and he are one. The fact that earth is heaven, whether heaven is heaven or not, is not an affidavit of that specific spot, not only must confirm us, but that it is not for us, but that it would affront us to dwell in such a place. Because the past is not the past, the past, the past, not past, the past, the past, the past, the past that hasn't passed, because water of chaos passed, because drank through it passed, because to die is not to go past, because the ghost given over, the past that has no plan, because voice the past, because love's anti, the past civilization, because zombie. Revolution is the pod systems rattle from, when the winds of will are stirred, excellent is bloom. But except its russet base, every summer be the entomber of itself, so of liberty, left inactive on the stalk, all its purple fled, revolution shakes it for a test if it be dead. Because the children are always already gone, between me and my hand, how are the children? Moses is dead, though they made it to Zion. Zion still being sick, sick, sick to this day, okay. Storms unravel, fauna takes my heart, the learning that almost all learning don't come from the teaching, the reaching, receiving, a language always just about to surface, say it. Poetry must be free to heckle, you know that there ain't no border real enough, we can't invade heaven to keep me from getting to you. Just so Jesus raps, he doesn't weary, last at the knocker and first at the bell. Then on divinest tiptoe standing, might he but spy the lady's soul when he retires, chilled or weary. It will be ample time for me, patient upon the steps. Until then, heart, I am knocking low at thee. He stumbles at your soul, as players at the keys. Before they drop full music on, he stuns you by degrees, prepares your brittle nature for the ethereal blow. By fainter hammers further heard than nearer than so slow. Your breath has time to straighten, your brain to bubble cool, deals one imperial thunderbolt that scalps your naked soul. When winds take forest in the pause, the universe is still. Pulling hairs out of our heart, yes, it's necessary. Don't go to sleep in the poem, and then you woke up. Justice cannot sleep forever. It hurts outside authority, then you shed them, but not the law, the stateless law, to be behind walls alive with stories. For a love permitted to take black radiance, acts to the frozen sea, does nothing. So what do you do for the faith that bears you? Body it forth like the snow does lions. Blood having sound buried in it, opens. The loneliness one dare not sound, and would as soon surmise as in its grave go plumbing to ascertain the size. The loneliness whose worst alarm is lest itself should see, and perish before itself for just a scrutiny. The horror not to be surveyed, but skirted in the dark, with consciousness suspended and being under lock. I fear me this is loneliness, the maker of the soul. Its caverns and its corridors illuminate or seal. Avoid, it's only the years. Imagine a world where no one pretended. Endure and bleed, and an ocean sustains me. My name is handed down to me from those that do not know me. The ache of love surviving in the post-zombie, where everyone grieves, no one even hears the crying. It's about the world, all the world in the world, all the world in the world, where no one pretended, the dead don't lie. Suspense is hostiler than death. Death, though so ever broad, is just death and cannot increase. Suspense does not conclude, but perishes to live anew, but just anew to die. Annihilation plated fresh with immortality. You've got a body, learn to enjoy it. The cold, cold January carcass here up north, there is community in gutters and lifeguards at the cemetery filling out forms, killing one type of owl but saving another. The regime of credit, writing my not knowing into the text, into everything. But Alana says, yada, yada, yada. It's really fun, it's fun. Feeling how the words sound one by one slowly in your mouth. And though it's strange, this feeding off the body as it's dying, I can love you better if we stay here in the ruins.
Dying, dying in the night, won't somebody bring the light so I can see which way to go into the everlasting snow? And Jesus, where is Jesus gone? They said that Jesus always came. Perhaps he doesn't know the house this way, Jesus. Let him pass. Somebody run to the great gate and see if Dolly's coming. Wait, I hear her feet upon the stair. Death won't hurt now Dolly's here.